This is Ecotricity's EcoTEC Roundup show from Aotearoa's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company. We only source from wind, hydro and solar, and we are the leading supplier of electricity to EVs in Aotearoa. Switch today at ecotricity.co.nz. Welcome back to another roundup in the world of clean cars and green energy. We have a bunch of stuff to get onto today, including a great homegrown story, so let's get on with it. We have to start today with Tesla's second AI Day, which took place late on Saturday, local time, during which we learned a lot about Tesla's future AI plans. Starting the event, Tesla revealed its progress on Optimus, its humanoid robot. While the robot did take some faltering steps on stage and we saw some pre-recorded video of the Tesla bot pretending to water plants with an empty watering can, the Tesla Optimus part of the presentation felt awkward, rough around the edges, and frankly, not like Tesla at all. But the second part of the presentation, where we learned about the AI developments being made by Tesla on Project Dojo and its autopilot full self-driving, that was, in part, impressive. But we're not being given a final date for FSD rollout, and Tesla keeps coming up with plenty of reasons why FSD isn't fully completed yet. There's just too much to cover in one show here from the event, so let us know in the comments below if you want a separate video. After what feels like an eternity, Nissan has finally begun pricing for the all-electric Ariya SUV for sale around the world, and following recent European pricing, it's now priced in the US as well. While the Ariya SUV will be available with a choice of all or front-wheel drive, with pricing going all the way up to $60,190 for the range-topping Ariya Platinum Plus E-Force, the entry-level Nissan Ariya will start from $43,190 before mandatory fees or incentives. For that, you'll get front-wheel drivetrains and a 63 kilowatt-hour battery pack, giving 216 miles or 347 kilometers on the EPA test cycle. Given every other Ariya variant has a much larger 87 kilowatt-hour battery pack, I'm really interested to see how well this starter version sells. When it comes to challenging the status quo, French automaker Citroen has a bit of a reputation. I mean, it is the car company that gave the world the De Chauffeur and the DS. This week, it revealed a new concept car that follows in that bold, historic tradition. Enter the All-E, a concept that looks nothing like anything Citroen has made before. It's seemingly inspired by the Hummer EV and is a boxy, truck-like car that is neither a truck nor in fact a car, but it packages seating for four with a rear load bay that can either be treated as a fully enclosed hatch or, in fact, be treated like a pickup bed. Being a concept vehicle, some of the specifications are a little hazy, but Citroen says the vehicle has smart V2G and V2L, as well as a 20 to 80% recharge time of just 23 minutes. Oh, and the vehicle also features loads of recycled materials, including recycled cardboard bonnet, roof, and pickup bed. We are constantly complaining on this channel that electric vehicles simply aren't affordable enough for many people, and that mainstream automakers don't care about that fact. So if you're in Europe and want another affordable EV choice, you might be pleased to know that BYD has just set pre-sale pricing for its soon-to-launch BYD Atto 3 compact SUV, BYD Han sedan, and BYD Tang full-size SUV. Official MSRPs will be shared at the Paris Motor Show shortly, but pre-sale pricing puts the BYD Atto 3 at €38,000, with the other two coming in at €72,000 each. If you're watching outside of Europe, it is worth remembering that those prices, which were set for Germany as an illustration, do include sales tax at 19%. So if you remove that sales tax, you're looking at closer to €32,000 or about 31,300 and some US dollars. If you are a hardened EV fan who has eagerly embraced the early adopter world of ordering and buying EVs online, you probably don't miss the traditional dealership experience. But just released data from Escalent shows that while there's now a massive increase in interest among car buyers in going electric, 57% of buyers questioned in its latest survey say they prefer the traditional dealership model of car buying, with only 20% saying they prefer a direct sales model as offered by companies like Tesla and Rivian. Moreover, a majority of respondents said they would rather visit a dealership to purchase, finance, take delivery of, and even have servicing done on their EV than having everything done online and having a service team visit them at home or work. It again demonstrates that there is a massive gap between early adopters like us and the rest of the automotive market. Unless you've been under a rock for the last few months, it is probably impossible to not note how badly the UK economy has been faring as inflation rises and the British government seemingly does nothing about it. Hampered by Brexit, the continued invasion of Ukraine by Russia, and corporate price gouging, the price of energy in the UK has soared, with petrol, diesel and natural gas all affected, as well as the price of electricity. And that price has been passed on to consumers in their homes, but is now being felt at public charging stations too. The UK's Royal Automobile Club disclosed this week that over the last 4 months, the cost to use a rapid charger in the UK has risen on average by 42%. Right now, a typical rapid charging station is charging upwards of 63 pence per kilowatt hour, which for our American audience is the equivalent of about 70 cents per kilowatt hour. That said, having a subscription does help lower that cost. Insurance company Geico is pretty well known in the US thanks to its cutesy ads featuring Martin, the British-sounding Gecko. But if you're someone who owns a Tesla, you may want to steer clear of the company for your insurance needs after a news story surfaced claiming that Tesla-certified accident repair shops in the Greater Phoenix area are refusing to repair Teslas insured through Geico. They claim Geico won't pay to get repair work done. While this is an anecdotal story and we've not had a formal response from Geico, it does seem the insurance company believes that the costs quoted to repair Teslas are far higher than equivalent repair costs for other non-Tesla EVs, and thus it won't pay. This is not the first time we've heard that Teslas are more expensive than other cars to repair, because Tesla controls the pricing of parts, and it also explains why Tesla now offers insurance in-house. Although Rivian has been delivering its R1T and R1S electric vehicles to customers in the US for some time now, not a single Rivian to date has been delivered to a customer in Canada. But Rivian announced this week it's now allowed to begin deliveries in Canada. The delay was apparently down to some old-fashioned bureaucracy. While both the R1T and R1S passed all necessary homologation tests to be considered legal to sell in Canada, it appears that the process of getting everything set up was held up by Transport Canada, which had apparently asked Rivian to provide supplemental paperwork in order to finalise the process. Now, Transport Canada has receipt of all of the crossed T's and dotted I's, and that means that deliveries are supposedly imminent. With any luck, Rivian looks like it may be able to start deliveries in Canada ahead of its planned November 2022 timeframe. As extreme weather events become more and more common across the world and the cost of batteries fall, there's a noticeable uptick in the number of people who are wanting backup power for their homes. This week, a new survey from Gold Zero, a US manufacturer and distributor of energy storage products for the home, detailed that while only 15% of US homes have backup power available to them in the event of a grid failure, a total of 61% say they wish they had some form of battery power backup. Shockingly though, about 43% of respondents admitted they don't know what their average home power consumption is, and 22% admitted they don't even know which things in their home use the most power. I guess this shows that, just like EV education, energy efficiency education has a long way to go. In the last decade, we've watched with interest as electric vehicle technology has progressed far enough to make electric airplanes an achievable part of our future. Many aircraft we've seen to date have been eVTOL craft, with the ability to take a small number of passengers on short trips across megacities. But this week, Eviation, an aircraft startup focused on building a more traditional-looking electric airplane, celebrated the successful completion of the first test flight of its Alice electric plane. Designed to be offered as a commercial commuter plane and a cargo plane, Alice is capable of local short-haul trips between major cities like Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington, and says Eviation will be able to service airports that can't currently offer commercial service due to noise limits or restricted hours. Honestly, I cannot wait to see more from this fantastic airplane. Before we go to the last two stories, a quick question. Are you in the market for a new EV? If you are, and you live in Aotearoa, you should totally check out our very own buyer's guide at ecotricity.co.nz. It is packed with all the information you need to pick a car that's right for you and includes plenty of details about incentives you can get, charging providers you can sign up with, and of course, how to get charging at home. So follow the link below and start your journey today. Elon Musk is someone who likes to make comments on Twitter that get a lot of attention, and this week has been no exception. When the state of Florida was trying very hard to deal with the impact of Hurricane Ian, Musk was on Twitter talking about the Tesla Cybertruck, stating that it would be, quote, waterproof enough to serve briefly as a boat so it can cross rivers, lakes, and even seas that aren't too choppy, end quote. While we have seen ocean-going amphibious vehicles before, and I myself have forded a few rivers in electric vehicles, I cannot stress how stupid it is to try and drive a vehicle through water that you don't know the depth or the current of, like floodwaters during a hurricane, for example. In fact, I'm going to leave the Washington State Department of Natural Resources to respond, because it won the week with the, quote, anything that serves briefly as a boat should not be used as a boat, end quote. Quite. And finally, as more electric cars have hit the roads of the world, we've started to see more electric vehicles enter into the world of motorsport. And as a Brit, I love seeing electric rally cars. And in Aotearoa, an all-electric rally car owned by Hayden Patton's team is really taking names and showing up ICE vehicles. The race-modified all-wheel drive Hyundai Kona EV just scored its second win in 2 races at the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint. And now the team says the car will be heading to the Waimate hill climb later this month. And honestly, I cannot wait to see it in action. There is something quite special about watching a super powerful all-electric rally car going sideways around a corner that, well, I just like to see. All-electric rally cars take on some of the world's most famous courses, so what about you? Oh, and if you are in the mood to visit the hill climb, it takes place on October 21st through 23rd in Waimate. And on that note, we are done for the day. Before I go, though, do make sure you've hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest in EV news from this channel. And if you haven't already switched, why not switch to Aotearoa's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company? It is super easy to make the switch, and in doing so, you will help wean Aotearoa off dirty energy and onto clean, green power that will keep the land beautiful for generations to come. I will be back with more awesome content very soon, as will the lovely Gavin Kiwi EV Shoebridge. He's been driving some great cars lately, and we will be back next weekend with our usual roundup show. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Nikki Gordon Bloomfield. Ka kite. See you next time.